A long, long time ago, a prophet named Zechariah prophesied that someday a king would come and save the world. Only he wouldn't come in a big fancy chariot as usual kings do. He wouldn't come in a big fancy car or a big fancy plane or a big fancy anything. Zechariah promised that this king would come on a donkey. If that sounds strange to you, listen. We're going to tell you the story because it happened just like Zechariah said it would.
A long time ago, something amazing happened in a little town like ours, but only it wasn't Porte. It was another country, another city called Jerusalem.
This happened before our moms and dads, or grandmas and grandpas, and all their grandmas and grandpas were even born.
This was 2,000 years ago, and it's a true story.
Jesus was walking with his friends, and they were getting near to a town called Jerusalem. Jesus sent two of his friends into the town on a really interesting mission.
He raised his hand and pointed and said, "Do you see that little town?"
Yes, they said.
Well, I want you to get me a mama donkey and her colt. I created those donkeys for a very special mission, and today is their big day.
Jesus' friends looked a little confused about this mission, but Jesus says, "Don't worry. If anyone asks why you are taking the donkeys, tell them the master needs them. He will bring them back soon." So, Jesus' friends went and did what Jesus told them to.
Jesus got on the colt and started riding him into town.
Do you remember that prophecy of Zechariah? Well, this is when it all came true. Zechariah promised that a king would ride into Jerusalem on a donkey, and guess what? That's Jesus, and that's what was happening. And do you know what else? There were a lot of people in town that day because they were celebrating a fun family holiday called Passover. And when they saw Jesus coming, they knew that he wasn't just some guy on a donkey. They remembered that he had been doing miracles and teaching them amazing things. So they realized that he was this donkey riding king.
Seeing Jesus coming, but they wanted to make the path really safe and smooth for him. They knew he was very important, and if this had happened today, people would have rolled out the red carpet for him.
But they didn't have carpets. Instead, they laid out their own coats on the road, and other people cut branches from the palm trees and spread them on the road.
There were people all around Jesus,
And they were all so happy that they were shouting and praising God.
They called to their friends to come see because this was the best day ever.
The king was finally here, so they chanted together.
Yay, Jesus, we're so glad you're here.
Back then, they said it a little differently. They said,
Hosanna!
By now, hundreds of people were there waving palm branches in the air and lying long palm branches down on the road. It was like the best, most exciting parade you've ever seen.
All of the people were happy. They kept yelling, Hosanna! They were very excited, and they all praised God. They thanked God for all the powerful things they had seen.
This was the day that they would never forget because Zechariah's prophecy came true, and they were all there to see it in person. And best of all,
They saw Jesus, the Savior